Hello, welcome to the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast. I'm Justin.
I'm Peter.
And joining us for our opposition view ahead of our match against Leicester, it's Chris from Leicester Till I Die TV. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Just come back off holiday and come back to this horrible weather and wish I hadn't. But thank you very much for having me on.
Where have you been? That's the first question.
Lanzarote.
Oh, blimey. So nice and warm this time of year, the Canaries.
Yeah. Oh, indeed. And, well, I missed 3 games while I was away. We got 7 points from 9. So I've started a GoFundMe page to send me back there for the rest of the year.
Why not? Charity starts at home and ends up abroad on holiday in 5-star accommodation. That's what I always say. Maybe explain why we don't raise much, but never mind. So you are resplendently wearing, I have to say, a shirt of is that one of Vardy-esque quality?
It certainly is, yes. In fact, if I can twist around there, you'll see.
Oh, look at this.
Vardy, yes. I mean, club legend. Love the guy to bits. It's a sad the way that it ended, but it is what it is. And I wish him all the best. And he's doing well, scoring goals and picking up awards.
Yes, yeah. Well, I saw a son and a father went out there to watch a game and met. You know, there was a nice, lovely picture with him and everything. So obviously the ties are still tight, etc., and binding. But hey, enough of all of our yesterdays. I will query why you have obviously a behind you there. You have a Premier League. We all know about that. But where is the FA Cup?
I couldn't afford an FA Cup.
Fair enough. Let's face it. There is
it all comes down to money, doesn't it? You know?
There's no point hocking your Premier League just to get another replica FA Cup, is there? No. I like the way you're prioritising that. Well, look, obviously you went up. We all know what the Premier League can be like. Obviously, you've won it. You've also, let's face it, Leicester City also know all about the other end of the shitty stick on occasions. This season so far, your home record of 10 matches, as we talk at the moment, is you've won 4, you've drawn 4, you've lost 2. Away, which of course is important, which is important in the back end of the season is going to be. You've won 11. You've played 11. You've won 4. You've drawn 3, and you've lost 4. So coming to the King Power, that looks to be kind of a stronger area than the away form. Is that reasonable to say?
Not really, no. I love the fact that you have the women's shirt up there as well. By the way, that was.
We'll come on to more of this in a minute. That's fine.
No, it's been an up and down season. Everybody knows. We went up. We ate at the top table. We liked the taste of it. We tried to stay up there as clubs have before, and I've no doubt clubs will after. And we got caught out with the old PSR or whatever it's called these days. They keep changing it. But look, it's where we are, and we hopefully will find out by the end of the year, because we've just had the meeting with the current PSR. And I think I speak for most Leicester fans here when I say, just give us the points deduction. Just give us what it is and get it out of the way. Because every season, and they're coming for us, we made them look fools last season, although they did a good job of that themselves. But let's just do it. Take it on the chin. We're not going to go up this season. I hope we don't go up this season, because we'll be worse than last season, and that would say something. So just give it us now. While we're going to be down here for a couple of seasons, we can blood some youngsters through, and we can just get on with it. I'm fed up with the start of every season. It's, will Leicester get any points deductions? What will happen? Give us the points deductions, and then we can just get on with our lives and concentrate on the football, which is what it's supposed to be all about.
Absolutely. Let's do just that. Let's have a look at your last 15 games and your league position so far in this season, because it's then going to lead to us to talk about how everything has gone. It's been a little bit, let's be honest, a little bit roller coasterish in terms of the last 15, because you've drawn 5, you've lost 5, and you've won 5. So it's literally anybody's betting. But in the middle of this particular kind of cluster of games, you've had 5 wins, and the general general direction, because you've also won, drawn, and won again, and good results, I would suggest, against Derby, against Bristol City, a draw, but a very good win against Ipswich. I think anybody who gets a result against Ipswich and takes 3 points is going to be very happy, which has pushed you further up the table. What is everybody thinking at this moment in time and through the season so far of Mr. Cifuentes, who left QPR and has come to you guys at an admittedly difficult time? What does the King Power jury make of Mr. Cifuentes at this moment?
Look, football fans are very fickle. Go back 3 games and we'd lost to Southampton and we'd lost to Stoke, and I wrote my piece about every other week for the BBC, and I wrote, get this man out of our club. He's no idea what he's doing. He's playing the same formation that we played under Rude last season when we broke all the records for the most games lost, etc., etc. And then we've even sold the better players that we had, and now we're still trying to play that thing. And then you got Chris Wilder comes out and says, I was interviewed for the job, I wanted it, and look what he's doing at Sheffield United, really turning it round. And then the ink was hardly dry on my paper of me writing that blog, and we went to say and got 7 points out of 9. The players struggle with this, 4-2-3-1, and I hate it, to be honest with you. You see, and then, but what he does sometimes, he'll change it at half time, or 60 minutes, and he'll change formation, and he'll go to a 5-3-2, which is obviously then a 3-5-2 if you're in attack. And then he'll come out after the game and goes, that's how I wanted us to play more in the second half. Why don't you bloody start with that formation then? Do you know what I mean? It's not rocket science here. So, look, we're not going to sack him because we can't afford to sack him. We couldn't sack Ruud van Nistelrooy because we'd sacked Steve Cooper. We couldn't sack Ruud van Nistelrooy until we fell into this season's accounting period. So we've already sacked one manager this season, if you like, technically. So we can't sack Marty. I wouldn't have minded Chris Wilder, but I have to say, he said stick with him, and he'll get it right. And obviously, this isn't his team at all, really. But the jury's out. I'm going to say the jury's out on him at the moment.
Okay, so you look like you're starting with a 4-2-3-1. I mean, let's face it, you don't have to talk to us about the expenses of sacking managers.
That's true.
We know a lot of these things.
We're not far behind you, actually, when we were looking at it the other day. We're not that far behind.
We like to think of ourselves as trendsetters, Chris. We like that very much. The 4-2-3-1, there's a couple of players in there that I want to ask about. De Cordova-Reid is a player I always liked. I thought he looks a high energy little bundle of fun when he was at Fulham. How has he done with you guys? Because I know he got a goal the other day, but how is he performing for you?
Again, it's one of those that when we signed him, he was one of Steve Cooper's signings, and he was going for experience over youth. We went for a lot of the older players. Ipswich went for all the Championship younger players. I thought it'd be interesting to see what happens. We both went down, so it just shows you what we know nothing. And when we signed De Cordova-Reid, I'm going, what the hell have we done signing this guy? I mean, are they going to bring him on in his bath chair? Where does it end?
How old is he?
He's 34, I think.
But
I'm going to say they played him on the wing, which maybe would have been his positions when he was 10 years younger. But this season, he slotted into that number 10 because the player we got on loan from Burnley, Aaron Ramsey, is injured. He's just got back to training. And he's done really well. He's got a couple of goals from that position. He scored a screamer on, which I think would have been goal of the week had Fatawu not popped up and done what he did. But I have to say, it annoys me because when he goes off to play international football, he comes back and he misses a game because he obviously plays for Jamaica. So there's a long flight. Now, my argument is these players don't go in economy. They're either in business or first. They can lay down. They can get a proper sleep. He should be coming back refreshed. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I've really had to eat a bit of humble pie with him. He's done he's doing well for us at the moment.
Okay, well, we'll watch out for him. The other player who you mentioned him there, I wanted to talk about, and yes, he didn't score another belter, is Abdul Fatawu, who is top of the assists with 6, and he's second in place for the goals. Tell us a little bit about Abdul Fatawu, because he is a lot of fun to watch as a neutral, I have to say. He's a left-footed player, but he plays off of the right. He's that kind of inverted winger, but he can be devastating. Can he also be frustrating, or are you a big fan?
Oh, very much so frustrating. I'm a big fan. Let me just say that straight away. I'm a big fan. We had these two players last time we were in the Championship with Enzo Maresca. And I was thinking, my God, I can't wait for these two guys to get to the Premier League. Mavadidi on one side, Fatu on that side, and we're going to tear the Premiership up. And then they both got injured. And Fatu was out for 3/4 of the season, something like that. And it rolled over into the start of this season. He can be frustrating because he wants to do it all himself.
Okay.
When he goes down that, one time I was watching him, he actually had the ball, he clipped it over the defender, went round the defender, and carried on with the ball. I mean, when he does things like that, you're thinking, but he needs to learn that he's not a one-man team. And very often, when he does get that ball on that left foot and the defender lets him go inside, 7 times out of 10 he'll go for the top right hand corner or left hand corner. Doesn't always come off. Sometimes it ends up in row Z. Sometimes it falls into the goalie's arms. Occasionally it will go in. He needs to remember that sometimes there's a player that he can pass to that is probably sort of on, can have a shot. So he can be frustrating, but my God, when he gets it right, is it beautiful.
Absolutely, and of course, as everybody knows, in the highlights reel that everybody gets at the end of the season, they don't put the other 7 out of the 8 that ended up basically smashing into the concession stand. That never goes in.
And that goal that he scored on Saturday, I mean, against Ipswich, I'd actually predicted us to lose. Again, shows what I know. But I mean, he took that ball. He won it just outside our own box, ran forward with it. It was further away from their goal than Beckham's was when he did it. And he just hit that. And you're like, I'm just thinking, yep, that's going to add another couple of million onto his price. Thank you very much. But it was a super. Apparently he does it all the time in training. And his teammates were sort of saying, well, when are you going to do that for real? Well,
there you go. Yes. Did it. Well, look, we're coming to you on Boxing Day, and let's face it, we are all gentlemen of a certain age here. And I want to recall, I came up to Filbert Street, as it was then.
Wow.
For younger listeners / viewers, Filbert Street being the great historical ground, a fantastic atmosphere that Leicester had there. Earlier ground, and we came up there. It was Boxing Day. It was bloody freezing. The Filbert Street pitch was what I can only describe as compacted mud. I mean, it was just how it got played. I have no idea. And we played out a 4-4 draw for us. Wow. Paul Furlong got a couple, and Bruce Dyer got a couple in their brief, wonderful, sunny. Well, except in Leicester on Boxing Day, sunny kind of spell together where we tore everybody up and then immediately sold them in order to get back to those heady days of relegation battles. And it was fantastic. Do you remember the team, the kind of team from around there? If I remember right, I'm sure Steve Agnew made an appearance.
What year were we talking? Remind me of the year.
This would be the 93-94 season, and there was Steve Agnew. There was, I think, David Oldfield?
There'll be a David Oldfield in there. 93-94. That's I'm thinking Martin O'Neill possibly was the manager.
It might have been. I've been there a couple of times. I do always remember Mark McGee coming out and warming up. No. He's like Voldemort. He's him who shouldn't be mentioned. We don't like him. Move away from the Mark McGee reference. I apologise.
Yes. Simon Grayson.
Yes, Simon Grayson would have. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Before he started managing everybody in the Championship and League One.
Well,
That was what he ended up doing.
He hasn't come home yet. Lee Philpott.
Yes, down the left wing.
Left or yeah.
Or you could go down the.
Yeah,
But he
was. I think he was left. Yeah. You
Yeah,
test him. I struggle to remember what I had for my bloody breakfast, mate. That's
Well, if you had Lee Philpott for your breakfast, I think you'd remember it, but that's fine.
Yeah,
So look,
well,
there is the point is there is a heady, high-scoring kind of history to this fixture. And what we're going to do, if it's all right, Chris, we're going to get you involved with. We've had you do this before, and it's got no better. It's the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes Completely Rubbish Prediction League. The current scores, by the way, for everybody and for Justin, for the last 2 games. Only one team has scored, which was Backgammon FC, went for a draw and got it. Everybody else for 2 games has done nothing. So the Postbox is still in front on 25. Backgammon FC is on 19. EFL, for whom Chris will be taking part today, is on 13 points. DNSY East remains on 11. And the Patreons are on 9. So you're going to be taking part for mid-table EFL. What do you think?
Can I just say, by the way, the name... Do Not Scratch Your Eyes. That really is hurting me.
Yeah, you might remember a match where that commentary came from, perhaps.
Yes, I do. I was watching it with my 2 boys, and we were jumping up and down because we got it was obviously a clear-cut penalty, and and my youngest son said he's got to score it yet. And never. I mean, I have to say, in a way, thank you for that, because the following season we literally went on. We won it. We broke all our own records for wins and away wins and all that. Had a fantastic season. That was the start of the thing that ended up with that cup behind me. So thank you very much.
Well, if you remember, and I'm sure a few Leicester fans will remember this. It was a Sky request because we've spoken to Troy Deeney at length about many things, and this was one of them. And we said, "Do you remember the next season?" Because he was friends with Anthony Knockhart. He's a good mate, and they were going to do a reenactment, or they were looking at doing it, and then kind of being the punchline being the next year when you all came down and pumped us 3-0. And what they did was, poor old Troy had to walk through it on Sky. For the previous goal, and then in the ground we played it, and everybody in the Watford end, I assure you, was going, "Oh no, what are you doing? Why are you playing that now? This is football. We all know if football can kick you in the arse, it's not a question of it, it's simply a question of how hard." And the answer was 3-0. So yes, it's bitten.
Well, I've got a similar story. When we played Southampton, when we were good and we beat them 9-0 away. And it was the record. And then the return game the same season was at the King Power. And before the teams came out, they played the 9 goals on the big screen. And we were the same. We are going, oh my blood, why are you doing this for? We lost.
When will clubs learn?
It doesn't work. It doesn't.
Yeah, let's guess. What comes before a fall? It was pride, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. No, it was a video of the former match. That's what happened. Well, there you go. So, well, look, we're coming to you. I apologise for the trauma of both our podcast title and mentioning a former manager who we won't mention, Mark McGee. What do you think?
He was linked with Leicester every bloody season after that.
Yeah, he was. To be fair, yes, he absolutely was.
He was. What do you think the score is going to be when the Hornets come to now the King Power?
You're going to score because we cannot keep a clean sheet. Or you don't. I'm not sure what that nodding shaking is.
I'm agreeing with you, Chris. I'm agreeing with you. Do continue.
I think you will score, but look, as I look at us here, you've only won 1 of your last 5. You've had 3 draws, but we've lost 2. I just think we're on that upward projector now. I'm going to go. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to go 3-1 to Leicester.
3-1? 3-1 to Leicester? Oh, my God.
So was that 3-1 or 2-1?
3-1.
3-1 to Leicester. Oh, look at that. Look at that build up. Look at that build up. And then it's like, and the player leaving Strictly this week is
Yes. Yeah.
3-1 to Leicester.
I just think, look, we've 2 games ago we were 3-0 down at half time to Southampton and 3-0 down to Sheffield United. We were awful against Southampton. We didn't do too. We got back against Sheffield United, but ended up losing 3-2. We've then gone and beat Ipswich, which was a fantastic result. Not just because it was a win, because of who we were playing. They're on the form, really good form at the moment. But it depends what Leicester turns up.
Well, we will see. We will see. But look, Chris, thank you so much for jumping in. Have a fantastic Christmas, full of friends, family, booze, food, and all of the things that you can enjoy before enjoying football on Boxing Day, because that's something that Justin loves, I know.
No, I do not. I bloody hate it.
Well, get yourself back in the Premier League and you won't have to.
Oh, so easier said than done. Chris, thank you very much indeed. A man in very, very high demand who makes time for us, despite the errant name of our podcast.
Right, you lot, it is time for my prediction for Boxing Day versus Leicester City. Before I start, Justin has been asked not to do this one purely based on the fact that he believes it's Boxing Day and thus we're going to lose. So, having said that, I don't know. I find Leicester in a funny old situation at the moment, and I think very recently, as I record this, they've just been hammered by Queen's Park Rangers. So I'm going to opt on the side of good things, and I'm going to go for Leicester City 1, Watford 3. How'd you like them apples?
Right, here we go. We're back with the videos. Watford versus Stoke at home. Let's get a nice jog on. Yeah. Okay, and we're just going to roll the dice together and see what happens. Okay, so there's a Stoke 4, 3, that's one to Stoke, and then Watford is 4. Where's the other one? Oh, here's the other one. 2, look how far that's what happens when it comes off the treadmill. It's coming here. So Watford is 4 minus 2, which is 2, and Stoke is 3 and 4, which is 1, which means look, and it's just stopped on its own. How freaky is that? 2-1 to Watford.
So Chris, Leicester, and the EFL, all one and the same. They go for a 3-1 Leicester win. The Patreons also call it 3-1 to the Foxes, but Carlos goes for a 3-1 Watford win. Brett, a treadmill, and the dice combine to say 2-1 to Watford, and AFC Postbox say 4-2 to the Foxes once the poo packets have been taken out by, well, VAR, I suppose. Unless it's a draw, points will be awarded.
Do not scratch your eyes!